What the story is about. I am David Clark, and this is a true story about my brother Michael and I, who were both notorious criminals living in Aylesbury during our teenage years in the 60s. Michael was born in 1946 and I was born in 1949 in Oldham, Lancashire, England. This story portrays a remarkable change that took place in my life when I was 20 years old, on the night of the 16th of January 1970. After which I turned from crime to Christ. Michael was left untouched until 30 years later. After my change of mind and outlook, after 1 year I felt it right to confess to the police to 24 crimes that I could remember doing during a 3-year career of undetected crime after leaving Borstal in 1968. After which it was noted by the chairman of the magistrates that my crimes over such a short period of time had been quite the worst they'd ever had to deal with. It was 30 years later that Michael too turned from a life of crime to Christ after serving 5 years of his 16-year prison sentence in the Philippines. The story is real, remarkable, and demonstrates the grace of God in saving one brother from a life of crime and certain further imprisonment, and the severity of God in leaving another to himself. It was the shock of Michael's prison sentence that prompted me to pen my first book, Converted on LSD Trip, in 1998. But before I'd finished my book, the good news came from the Philippines that he too, that's Michael, had been saved from his life of crime through reading C.S. Lewis's book, Mere Christianity, just like I was, but some 30 years after me in the year 1999. This occurred after him serving a 5-year sentence of his 16-year term. Sadly, however, he died of tuberculosis in the jail in May 2005. As a result of his conversion, we worked together for 4 years in the Philippines and its jails, helping many former criminals on the road to reformation and rehabilitation. It is this work that we wish to continue in our British prisons. When my book was first published on the 11th of February 2001, which was exactly 30 years to the day of my story appearing as headline news in the Bucks Herald newspaper in Aylesbury, I found very few people found time to read. As a result, I have now put together the first part of our story, Converted on LSD Trip, as a punk rock opera called Borstal Boy. This has been designed to be performed by Asylum Seekers, a gospel band, in our prisons with the view to helping others. This story could be a real help to all kinds of people: judges, magistrates, psychiatrists, psychiatric nurses, social workers, policemen, ministers of religion, teachers and probation officers. It has been written to help in the reformation of criminals and to be useful to those living in the margins of society, along with unruly youths, drug users and hardened criminals, including chavs, hoodies, atheists and agnostics. It is believed that this true story is as remarkable as that told by David Wilkerson in his book, The Cross and the Switchblade, a famous classic from the 1960s. This third edition of Converted on LSD has been written to address the helpful criticisms that I have received from prison chaplains, ministers of religion, publishers and friends since the publication of my draft edition, Converted on LSD Trip. Go to our website for the links to our punk rock opera, performed by my good friend Mike Fisher and his band, the Asylum Seekers.